How much do you enjoy this, kind of getting out with the fans and stuff and kind of mingling? Because you seem to be kind of a natural at it.
I don't know about that. I love it. Obviously, being able to come to an awesome place like Charleston makes it even more enjoyable, without a doubt. But it's one of the many things I love about college athletics, just being able to come to events like this and hear from our fans and meet them. But the thing that I love is just hearing their stories about what Gamecock football means to them and hearing their excitement and love of this university and the Garnet and Black. It's a great reminder for me about why I do what I do.
I know you want to talk quarterbacks, as you said a couple days ago. As we stand here, it's Lenora Sellers, but expound on that situation.
Yeah, we compete every day, in our program, and my conversation with Lenora was, coming out of spring practice, you're our starting quarterback, and now I expect you to continue to do the things this summer, just like I expect our Kai Kroger at punter to continue to do those things, and Debo Williams at linebacker, where no one's ever content or complacent, and I know Lenora isn't. And I told Robbie too. I called Robbie on Monday night and reiterated to him again, we're continuing to compete throughout the summer, and when we get to the first game, the guys that give us the best chance to win the football game are the ones that are going to be out there playing. But we've got a handful of really talented quarterbacks, and eager to watch those guys along with our other players continue to develop this summer.
How's the golf game?
Golf game's okay.
What's okay? Like scratch?
Yeah, I wish. Golf game's solid. Month of May for me, I'm able to kind of get it dialed in a little bit for the summertime, but I haven't played nearly enough to feel great about it right now. It's not as good as it will be in July.
Do you ever get tired of these events in that you're like, dude, we're having chicken again?
No. We go to some great places, and when you have amazing views like you have here at this place, I know the food will be good, but even if it's not, just being able to look out the window and see Charleston and this amazing view, it's hard to beat it.
Coach, Cam Pringle's kind of the low country Gamecock this year. I know he missed spring, right?
Yeah.
But how's he adjusting to the program, college life? How's he doing at rehab?
Cam is doing great. Give credit to him. He worked in the springtime and was able to get out there and do some stuff in practice. We weren't really sure how much he was going to be able to do, but he was pretty active during spring practice. Not 100% for all 15 days, but we were able to get enough. He was able to get some really good work during the spring. Obviously, it's hard to be the hardest position to play as a freshman is on the offensive line. We saw that last season. We had 2 true freshmen that started, but they didn't even get to Columbia until June. It'll be so beneficial for Cam because he's been here since January. He's gone through spring practice. He knows how to do things in the weight room. He's really acclimated and adjusted well off the field and socially, academically, and then he's really done a good job on the field. And I'm excited to see the steps that he will take this summer going into preseason camp also.
Looks like his body has changed already.
Yeah, absolutely. He came in, he'd be the first to tell you probably needed to lose some weight, get rid of that baby fat, whatever you want to call it. But he's done a great job really trying to be intentional about buying into what we're doing from a nutrition standpoint, attacking the weight room, eating the right way, the way he trains. And you can see, just a minute ago when he walked up, I haven't seen him in about a week and a half. And just, you're reminded, wow, he doesn't look like a freshman right out of high school.
And just one more on Cam. This fall, do you expect him to compete for us in the rotation?
Absolutely. Yeah, we came out of spring practice feeling that we've got a really good group of offensive linemen that all going to be competing for the opportunity to play and to get into that rotation. And Cam certainly is right in the mix of that. Our freshmen I'm really excited about. He and our other freshman offensive linemen, and then our freshmen last year that are now a year older. He's around some really good players, and they're all making each other better, but we fully expect him to get in there and compete and have the opportunity to earn a significant role this season.
Did you fly here from Kansas City?
I flew straight from Kansas City.
What were you doing in Kansas City?
Spent the morning with the Chiefs and did some other professional development yesterday. So I saw you in Florence Monday night, and then at 6:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, I was on a plane headed to Kansas, and spent all day yesterday in Kansas just kind of doing some professional development type stuff, trying to make myself better as a coach, and that included visiting with the Chiefs today and just picking their brain on some stuff that they're doing, and some of the coaches that I've gotten to know there as well. But it was great being able to watch them work out a little bit on the field, seeing some of the players that I coached at Georgia and Oklahoma that are now on their team, and catching up with them. But something that I try and do every year, and hopefully we'll do a little bit more of this year also.
Any other plans to go any other places?
I'm going to try and do some stuff in June. We're fortunate that we got a great relationship with the Panthers, and they're right up the road. So I want to get up there. I've talked to Coach Canales up there already about coming up, so I want to do that. And then maybe, one or two other NFL teams. It's tough, just from a recruiting standpoint, planning, and guys are coming in to visit. We have camps in June, but May's somewhat of a slow time for a head coach because all the assistant coaches are out recruiting, and all the players don't have to be back for summer school until the beginning or the end of May. So it's really a slow time right now where, I can get a lot of work done, planning. I spent all day Monday before I came to Florence just working on the August calendar and planning out every practice for the month of August that I'm still working on, but then also being able to do trips like that also. So it was beneficial, and hope to do some more stuff like that going forward.
Along the same lines of your professional development, last summer Xavier Leggett went and worked with Debo Samuel, and Spencer Rattler did some things. Do you have any guys who are doing some things along those same lines?
I know we have some guys this month that are going some places together. I don't know if it's not necessarily with a pro athlete that I'm aware of, but we got some guys when I met with them at the end of the spring and had some of those exit meetings. They talked about they were going to go to Miami and train together for 4 days, or they were going to go to Atlanta for 3 or 4 days and train together. And they'll obviously be working with someone and some people. Specifics, I don't know, but we got a lot of guys doing that here in the month of May, which is great. And then in the summertime, they're pretty structured in June and July. That thing with Xavier was over 4th of July. We give them a pretty good little break around the 4th. And a lot of guys went to the beach. Xavier went out west and trained with Debo. So I hope we do. That would be awesome, where some guys get with Zay and train with him this summer. Who knows?
When do you anticipate the rest of the 24 class arriving, and what do you expect the impact of some of those guys to be, like from Simmons, Fuller, Michael Smith, among others?
Yeah, they'll all be there. Matthew Fuller literally is texting me right now before I walked up about how eager he is to get to Columbia. I just had a text from him. Michael Smith and Joe Lewis, they will all be there. Memorial Day is when they come in. So a couple days before Memorial Day, actually, so the end of this month, they'll all be here. Simmons will be a little bit later than those guys. And then we've got a good group of guys, walk-ons, that are joining the program as well. They'll all be there by the middle of June. So we should have everybody in Columbia, scholarship-wise, before June 1st. Everyone on the roster except Simmons by the middle of June. And then Simmons will be shortly thereafter. And we're going to try and get them ready to play. I mean, we're excited about all those guys. Matthew will get the opportunity to compete at running back. Joe Lewis will have an opportunity to compete for a role on defensive back. And then Michael's a guy we're really excited about as a tight end. And then, Simmons as well. So we started five true freshmen at times last season. 3 of them didn't get there till June. And Nick and Tree and Tro. So we've shown that we can get guys ready. Now there's certainly some things that I've looked at from last year until now that I feel like we can do even better in order to get those guys ready to play quicker. Not that Tree and Tro weren't, but just some of the things. Part of the reason I went out where I did, met with some of the people I met with, just talking about how in the summertime we can maybe structure it even better to get those guys ready to play even quicker, whether it be summer workouts in June and July or the way we do preseason practice. You're always looking at how to get guys better, or how to get guys ready to play quicker, but then also how quickly you can get your team to come together, because every year is a new roster, as I've talked about before.
When you go to the NFL teams like you're talking about, and after a year when you have so many injuries on the offensive line, how much are you able to pick the brain of the Chiefs, trainers and things like that about, okay, how you guys play 16, 17 weeks almost without a break? How do you guys keep your offensive linemen and then bring that to your team? And Luke?
Certainly that's part of it for sure. Those guys are doing that on their own. Clint, our trainer, Luke in the weight room, and his staff, Yemi and nutrition. I mean, it all ties together. But certainly NFL teams are good teams to pick their brains on, because they do play a long season. If you play, I think they have 3 preseason games and 17 regular season games, so now they play 20 games before you even get into the playoffs. So it's a long season. That's something that resonates more with college teams now because of the college football playoff. It's going to be a longer season. This year we have 2 off weeks, so it's a longer regular season in a lot of ways. So those are all things that I may be talking to them about today, or there are conversations where I pick up the phone and call another college head coach and ask them kind of the same questions. And one us is looking at, just August and how we structure that. Do we need to tweak things to be a little bit better coming out of the gate? We didn't start out very good last season. In the year before, we started out 1-2, losing to Georgia and Arkansas. So looking at, okay, how can we maybe, I like what we do in August, but are there some ways that we can tweak it to be even better and maybe a little bit healthier and fresher starting? Now both of those seasons you played a team like Georgia and North Carolina, Arkansas, you're playing really good teams, but there's no question that you're always looking to get better, and that's one way to do it, being able to pick their brain and their training staff.
I know you've made it a point to kind of get ahead of everything as far as NIL and the transfer portal. How do you keep juggling that? Because it seems like, 1 week you lose a guy, next week you maybe have 2 come in, and it seems like just every week it's really an issue where you're juggling guys almost daily.
Yeah, it's a challenge, and it's just daily. It's really just try and each and every day sustain, but also make your program better each and every day, and understand that the last 2 weeks of April that we didn't essentially, but any of our players could have called me and said that they've decided to enter the transfer portal. And we lost some guys that I talked about previously that decided to leave because they wanted to go somewhere and play a little bit more, which I totally understand. We had great conversations, but when that portal's open at the end of April, that for 2 weeks you can get a phone call and it can be somebody that you're counting on being a starter for you that's leaving. And thankfully we didn't have that, but you just got to prepare, and I don't want to say expect that, but you just understand that's part of it. And when that happens, being able to adjust and make that situation a positive. If not that somebody leaving is a positive, if somebody leaves, you got a chance to replace them hopefully with somebody even better going in off the field. But it's certainly a challenge, and it's one that all of us as coaches are learning. There's no manual to refer to. I don't call my dad, who coached for tons of years, and ask him how he handled the transfer portal in April or NIL, because he didn't. And so it's something that all of us as coaches are just sitting there trying to figure out and learn as we go through it.
Are you able to comment on Drew Tuzoma transferring, and if so, how does that kind of work with him being a grad transfer and stuff and being able to transfer?
Yeah, the grad transfer window is a little bit different after you've graduated, so he's able to. Those are some things that I thought during spring practice were probably trending in that direction. Again, it's a situation where good player that we were excited about and still are excited about, that just wanted the opportunity, I think, to play a little bit more. And he's at a position between, he's worked at the edge position and the tackle position since he's been here been in Columbia, and that's a position that we've brought in some really good players either from high school recruiting or the transfer portal since January, and he's in the mix with a lot of other guys at that position. I think from Drew's standpoint, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he just felt like, I got a year to play football or another opportunity here in front of me. I want to go somewhere where my role's a little bit more solidified than what it is here.
Who is one person in your building who doesn't get enough recognition for the job? Maybe 2. Because I know you want to name all the stuff.
I do. I want to name everybody. Yeah, you got it. I would say everybody in our program knows her as Miss Anita, and Miss Anita works in nutrition with us, not just for the football team, but all of the student athletes. And she's the one that in the morning she's making food and greets every single player every single morning, every single coach with smiles, greets them by their first name. I've talked about it. I come in early, so when I get there each morning about 5:45 in the morning, I usually see her bringing food in from the trucks outside or setting up food in the kitchen. I see her after practice at lunchtime. She's just always there, and I know our players have great respect for her and the job she does, but the way she does her job. So that would be one. I really could name everybody. Everybody that you guys don't know of, whether it be from the weight room to recruiting to video to nutrition to the training room to equipment. There's a lot of people that do a great job and don't get enough credit, but she's one that not just for football, but for all of our sports. I think there's great appreciation with all of our student athletes and coaches for her. I know there is in the football play.
Thoughts on how baseball's looking right now? Can we expect you in attendance this weekend?
I'll be there tomorrow night, or what is it? Tomorrow night?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
I'll be, if Wayne gets me tickets, I'll be there tomorrow night and Friday. I already put in a request for for tickets earlier in the week, so hopefully those came through. But yeah, I'll be. My wife loves it; she loves going, so no, I love it. Coach Kingston and I rode together in the car to the Gamecock Gala a couple weeks ago, and that was, 2 weeks ago, whenever that was,
Yeah.
and we were talking about kind of the stretch. Good to see him take 2 or 3. I was driving back from down in Charleston last Sunday and was listening to the game on the radio and living and dying with every pitch. It was great to see them pull that out on Sunday, and then excited to be in attendance this weekend. What a great series to finish the home season with, regular season